Number 12 Baylor women's basketball lost to number 17 TCU in Waco, and it was not close. 83-67. And it was actually worse than that. TCU was actually up as many as 21 points in this game. And I apologize for looking at that because I cannot memorize all this stuff. This does create chaos in the Big 12. Now the Big 12 title winner will have at least 3 conference losses. I mean, going over the 4 teams that have a real shot. West Virginia, 11-3. Texas Tech, 10-3. TCU, 10-3. And Baylor, 10-3. And Baylor was in sole possession of first place. But they couldn't defend their home floor. Simply put. At halftime, it was close, 36-32. But second half, TCU went on a tear. 47 points to Baylor's 35. And granted, some of that was garbage time. As in, like, game was out of reach. I'm just being real. And I'm going to just go to stats. And Baylor didn't shoot the ball bad in this game. 42% from the field on 57 attempts. However, 28% on threes on 25 attempts. Some of those were good looks. They just couldn't knock them down. 75% on free throws on 16 attempts. So that was not the problem either. 31 rebounds. 3 of those offensive. You got to have more offensive rebounds. 13 assists. 11 turnovers. 6 steals. 4 blocks. And only 8 fouls. So it's not like Baylor was in foul trouble all game here. They just couldn't not make enough shots. And Baylor only had how many bench points? Kara Pemberton with 2, Kylie Abraham with 2, that's 4. Kelly Johnson with 3, that's 7. Plus Eugene Dong's 4. So 11 bench points and 3 double-digit scorers. That literally combined for... Okay, Talia Scott actually, with her 22 points, already got past 1,000 career points in general. At all 3 schools. Yeah. Very impressive given the amount of games she's played in her career so far as a redshirt sophomore. But she was slowed down in the second half. She only had 6 in the second half. Janet Van Geinbeek had 14 points. Darion Lopez-Buggs did have 14 points. At times, she didn't play. She came back into the game again. It's just the game was out of reach. And then eventually, Nikki Khan decided get their bench players in the game. It was out of reach. And nobody else scored 61 points in this game for Baylor. They needed more help than just those 3. Belafonte couldn't make anything. I mean, 4 points on 2 for 8 shooting and 0 for 4 on threes and 0 for 1 on free throws. And I thought she needed to step up and she couldn't. And I thought I combined like Kirsten Johnson, Kayla Nelms, and Kai Abraham need to step up. Simply put, they couldn't. They only combined for literally 4 points from 3 players. Yeah, that doesn't help. And you think Dawn could have been a little bit more efficient. It just seems like she's been hitting the wall recently. Hopefully she gets out of that funk. Now, simply put, TCU's damage was not really from the bench. I mean, 4 points. Talia Parker and Clara Bielefeld with 2. What the real damage came from was simply 2 players. That literally combined for all of Baylor's points among the whole entire roster. 67. 40 points for Olivia Miles. 13 for 28 shooting. 10 for 20 on threes. 4 for 4 on free throws. And she did have 6 rebounds. She only had 3 assists in this game, by the way. It's like, make her drive to the basket instead of letting her shoot wide open threes. She was not missing. Or double team her. And yes, I get she's a great passer. But you cannot let one player beat you like that. And the other one was Marta Suarez with 27 points on 10 for 18 shooting. 3 for 4 on threes. 4 for 4 on free throws. She did have 6 rebounds, by the way. And only one player for TCU scored 600 points in this game, which was Donovan Hunter, a double-digit score. She averages like 12.4 points per game prior to this one. She only had half of that tonight. So simply put, two players carried them to victory. Simple. I mean, at least to tie the game and then other players step up. I know. And TCU shot the ball better in all areas. 46% from the field on 63 attempts. 52% on threes on 29 attempts. That was the difference. 45 points came from one particular area of the game. 91% on free throws on 11 attempts. 39 rebounds. 7 offensive. They only had 8 assists. They had 11 turnovers, 6 steals, 2 blocks, and 15 fouls. Now I'm going to go to the points on turnovers, points in the paint, and fast break points as well. Now, points on turnovers favored TCU in this game slightly, 14-10. Fast break points favored Baylor 8-2. In addition, points in the paint actually favored Baylor, despite Baylor not having a single 6'7" player on their roster. Because TCU's 2 players that played in the game that were 6'7" only had a combined 2 points. Yeah, 28-24 points in the paint. What's the rest of this regular season look like for both of these squads? Well, thankfully for Baylor, your next one is against UCF, and that's a UCF team that's been down the top 2 scores. It must be for the last few games. It must be due to injury or something. I don't know. Sure, it's a road game, but that needs to be a win right there when I see one on February 15th. Then you get your rematch with Texas Tech on the road February 18th. And remember, Texas Tech beat Baylor in Waco, and Talia Scott she only played like 3 minutes or less in the game. I think if Talia played more, Baylor might have won the game back then. Yeah. And it's going to be kind of difficult because Texas Tech already beat TCU. Then again, Texas Tech did lose to Iowa State. So then you get Arizona at home. February 21st. That needs to be a win when I see one. Then you got Kansas State at home. February 23rd. That should be a win, though. Kansas State's playing a lot better ball recently. And then you got to go on the road to TCU. If you thought this game was already tough at home, you're going to have to play them there. They really need to raise their level next time when they play TCU. I'm just saying that right now. Because you cannot allow so many threes to beat you. And normally, Baylor's a really good three-point shooting defensive team. It's just tonight, TCU went crazy. And I knew this game was dangerous because, 1, TCU's ranked. 2, look at the players that TCU has. And 3, TCU was coming off of an upset loss on the road. Of course they were going to play angry. And they had more to play for because if Baylor would have beat them, TCU would have been out of the Big 12 title race, potentially, with 4 conference losses. And whatever Baylor tried to do in this game against TCU, you got to scrap that next time. And do something different against them next time. I'm just saying. You got to do something different. And you got to flush this game. Look at the film. Work on what you messed up on the most. And what you could have done better in some areas. And as for first 2 rounds of NCAA tournament hosting, Baylor really needs to beat Texas Tech on the road now when I see one. This is besides the other 3 games that should be wins already. And even if you do beat Texas Tech, I don't know if you just beat Tech and not TCU again. Is that enough to even host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA? They have to beat TCU at TCU now. And I would expect Baylor to be more keyed up for that game because they got embarrassed on their home floor tonight. I'm just going to call it the way it is. They were straight up embarrassed. Yes, it was close. And Baylor actually had a lead. They had a little run in the first quarter to take a lead. Once TCU took the lead, they never trailed again. Simply put, just like last year, started too slow, tried to battle back. They had times they were down by 4 or 2 possession game, and they couldn't get over the hump. Okay, enough of that. I'm just speaking the truth here. What needs to happen, and this is besides like winning a conference, like 2 conference tournament games, or 3. And I think it's safe to say you're going to get a bye in the first 2 rounds because, let's be real, Oklahoma State and Colorado, Baylor beat head to head. That should matter. So that's the good news in all this. So what's the remaining games for TCU here? Well, it's going to be a little separation game coming down. February 15th, you got TCU at home. I'm in West Virginia at home. That's a battle of 2 teams with 3 conference losses. So somebody's going to get eliminated from the Big 12 title hunt coming up. Then you got to go on the road to Houston, February 18th. They can play competitively, but I don't think you should lose. Then you get Iowa State at home. They've been playing better ball, though they did lose to BYU on the road, and that's a kind of a questionable loss in terms of BYU is not like on the next 4 out list for the NCAA tournament. Then you got to go on the road to Cincinnati. I would not sleep on them despite their record. On February 25th, they have played a lot of teams very competitively. They even beat Arizona State and Iowa State. I'm just saying. Can't sleep on them, and obviously you have that rematch with Baylor, and you get them at home this time on March 1st. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Close ultimate goal is 1,000 more. Some month. Of course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see us, sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch, and if you're watching, not subscribe, hit subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And this better wake Baylor up going the rest of the way. It's not going to get any easier. They're going to have to play Texas Tech literally 6 days from now after that UCF game. And they got to play TCU at the very end of the regular season. This is besides the Big 12 tournament and NCAAs. Now, they have to do more in order to think about being a host site, because going into this game, they were projected to be a 5 seed. They have to do more. Winning against 3 of those easier teams won't cut it. You have to win one of Texas Tech and TCU now, if not both, down the regular season stretch to even think about it. And this is besides, if you could win the conference tournament, you're going to help your cause for the NCAA tournament seeding. I'm just saying that right now. We have to wait and see what happens, though. And obviously, overall wise, Baylor is 21-5, while TCU is 22-4. Just to go over that too.